Reliability Solutions presents Key Tips, Techniques, Behaviors, Methodologies. Welcome to Chalk Talk.
Hello and welcome to this edition of Chalk Talk. This edition we're going to talk about fasteners, torquing and tensioning. It's an area that we don't do a very good job of in industry today, and there's plenty of room for improvement.
Why do we lubricate threaded fasteners? It's a question that is often misunderstood. For many, the obvious answer would be to enable them to be removed at a later date. Although a definite benefit, the real reason to lubricate fasteners is to ensure consistent tightening of the fastener. When asked what tool should be used to properly tighten a fastener, most would respond a torque wrench. And while the torque wrench is one of the most practical ways to control fastener tension, it is important to understand that it does not measure tension. It measures torque, or twisting force. That can lead to problems when trying to preload fasteners if we're not very careful.
Okay, what I want to show you with this demonstration is what happens when we tighten a bolt without lubricant. One of the biggest problems here isn't so much that we don't get a good tightening or a good value, but it's every time we tighten the bolt, the actual compression we put on the bolt is going to be different. What I have installed in my bolt tension tester here is a grade 5 bolt. The recommended dry torque for this bolt is 31 foot-pounds. It's a 3/8 16. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to tighten this bolt using this torque wrench. This is actually a digital torque wrench, and it has a beeper on it that will actually beep when I get to 31 foot-pounds. So what I'm going to do is tighten it to steady tone, and then we'll see what happens on the tension gauge. So here we go. So I got a pretty steady tone there, and we can see according to the gauge that I put 6,400 pounds, 6,400 pounds of force on that same bolt. Even though at 31 foot-pounds, the recommended tension was around about 4,900, so it should have been around about here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to back the bolt off again, and still dry, I'm going to retighten. Let's see what happens. This time, same bolt, same accurate torque wrench, and now all I have is around about 5,000 pounds, which is pretty close to what it should be. So why do we have that difference? What I've now done is apply some nevices to our fastener. I was careful to apply the nevices to both the head of the bolt, the threads, and of course the washer. What that does now is it reduces the recommended torque to 23 foot-pounds from where it was at 31 foot-pounds. I've reset my torque wrench to beep at 23 foot-pounds. Let's see what happens to the torque value and the repeatability. You can see my torque wrench starts to beep right now, right about 5,000 pounds per square inch. And again, 4950 is the recommended value. If I back it off again, and we try to tighten again, we can see that we consistently get the same compressive force on the fastener.
So to summarize, when tightening a fastener, always use a controlled method. Unless specifically told not to, always lubricate the fastener. Don't forget to lubricate the threads and the head and washer to get consistent results. And always use the lubricated torque value. Reliable manufacturing is effective organizations, precision maintenance, process excellence, and asset condition assessment. To get your reliable manufacturing roadmap, contact us now